Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome back to JBLETHAL TV. Man, we're doing things a little bit different on this channel, man. I don't want to be, the reaction channel that just does reactions because it's just, I'm past that, just doing reactions on my channel. Um, I feel like it's time to continue to express how I feel on camera to you guys because there are millions of people who are suffering in silence. So, a lot of people ask me, I have thousands of emails. JBLETHAL TV, give us this backstory into why you're so depressed, or what led up to your depression. Um, Man, where do I start from? It started from around the age of 6 years old, when I watched my uncle get murdered. Like I literally watched the shooter shoot my uncle. Like I watched it with my own eyes at 6 years old. Watched my uncle get gunned down. And that's when it all started. From that day, I'm still messed up. I'm still like messed up from it. From ages of 6 and going up, man, I was in such a bad place when I entered my teen years. Because when I entered my teen years is when I first knew what depression was. Like, I knew I felt something, like I was just always this dark cloud over me. But I just didn't know what it was. I didn't have a name to it. So when I was around 13, 14, is when I understood, what depression was. I understood it. Like, I know what I've been feeling my whole life now. It's depression. Um, Living with it, man, and not telling anybody. I was the one suffering in silence. 14, 15, started drinking at that age, around the age of 15, drinking like crazy. Parents didn't know at all what I was doing. Um, I was drinking heavy. I started to associate myself with gangs. Um, I started to, I was ditching school. Like my whole freshman year, I don't even remember being in school at all. That's because whenever I was in school, I was so zoned out. I was so zoned out because I was just living. I was having this anxiety and this depression and social anxiety. Didn't want to be around nobody. A lot of people ask me why I don't smile a lot, and I didn't feel like listening to any of that. I didn't feel like hearing my counselors at school, continuously ask me what's wrong, what's going on. So I just said, you know what? School is not for me. That was, I started making that decision at 15 because I was just so depressed, man, and just going through it. Angry. I was so angry. But I covered a lot of it up with, laughter and, making jokes. But as soon as I'm by myself and I turn around, that smile went from to in seconds. Um, Man, my teen years was probably the worst I felt. No, 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 no. We're gonna hold that back because that's not the worst I felt. Um, all my teen years, okay. I went through it, living with depression, didn't tell nobody, da 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 da, skipped school, to boom. I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in religion, any of that. I just didn't want to. I didn't care for it. I fought and were mean to people who were trying to preach to me. I didn't want to hear it. Did not want to hear it. Until I turned about 19. This was all recent. 20 years old. It's when man, I started to wonder man, I'm living with this much depression, right? I don't believe in any religions. I don't believe in God. I'm pretty much an atheist. And, around the age of 20, I'm just like, okay, I'm curious now. I'm curious now. Who is God? What is God? So I said, forget it. I picked up a Bible from my uncle's church. It was the King James Version. I picked up the Bible, started reading it. And for some weird reason, man, I just flipped to Revelation because I heard so much about it. And it scared me. it scared me because I'm like, oh my goodness, why does this all sound so real? I started to believe it. And, I put the book down. I stopped reading it because it started to freak me out. So, man, as days and weeks and months just go by, I get so curious about it. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what happened. I had a dream. I had a real bad dream about me going to hell. And I've had those dreams so many times. And it woke me up, man. And I was like, okay, you know what? All right, let's find God. Let's try to figure out who this God is. So when I did, and I started going to church, probably some of the happiest times of my life because I was actually social. I forgot what depression was. And then, I got hurt by someone. So I fell out and I stopped going to church and things, stopped praying. And then I got sick. I got so sick to where I almost died with pneumonia. I was probably that was probably one of the worst experiences I've ever dealt with in my life, and that was around 2020. I was so sick, laying in the hospital. That was COVID, man. They said it was COVID. I just remember being in the hospital and laying there, so messed up. Had the wires and everything. I had needles in me everywhere. I had to wake up to getting shots in the leg to avoid getting blood clots. I was so miserable in that hospital. I remember, man, this was the day that my depression just went into full throttle. I was walking, literally, I'm laying on the bed and, I have the oxygen thing on and like, I got up and the bathroom was like a few inches over. And I got up to go try to walk to the bathroom and I just collapsed. I collapsed. Like, I just felt my body just shut off. And I remember when I woke up, I was like, what? I thought I died. I couldn't even think fast enough. My body just collapsed that fast. And when I collapsed, I thought I was gone. I was in that hospital for approximately about 1 month. And when I got out, I still wasn't, it was still hard for me to walk upstairs to go shower. It was just rough. And, even though after I got better, about 3 weeks passed by and I'm feeling healthy enough to actually walk around and leave, I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to leave the house because I was just so afraid, scared to get sick again. So I had dropped weight. I had dropped down to about 215, 216. And I was so depressed sitting in the house that all I did was binge eat all day long. Just binge eat, binge eat, binge eat, binge eat. To the point where, man, I was about 309 pounds. All of that in a month, man. I went from 215 to 309 within a month or less. It's crazy to me, man, because I'm still struggling to this day. I'm struggling. Even making this right now, struggling with this depression. But I'm living through it. Because there's people who commit suicide. One of my closest friends committed suicide from depression. I know a lot of people who've committed suicide, young people, older people. It don't matter. Age has no limit. I've seen kids do it. So, man, the fact that I'm living through it, man, is a blessing in itself. So You guys want to know how was it living through depression? This is it right here. You can do it. I know a lot of you guys are going through depression for many different things, from loss of a loved one, having a disability, living with whatever it is that you're living with, some kind of HIV, AIDS, herpes. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're living with, man, just be blessed that you're alive and have every moment to breathe. Because there are people out here who literally just, who can't take it. Who can take it and who aren't, mentally strong enough to take it. It is not easy dealing with depression, you guys. It is not easy, and I know that. I know there's a lot of people who got it way worse than me. Way worse. But man, let's all get stronger together. What did they say? It takes a village to raise someone. Man, it takes a village. When there's more than one, man, the process of healing is so much easier. And that's what I want to leave you guys with, man. I just want to give you that story because a lot of you guys asked me where it all started from and how it's going now. I'm living through my depression. Let's do it together. I love you guys. Stay strong. Stay positive. Even when things are so negative around you, we can do it. Let's do this together. I love you guys. JBL.